welcome to Squad, your favorite source for everything esports and gaming. I'm Lisa Dwan, and I'm here to let you know what's going down tonight. The iconic duo is back. Marissa and Brody will be battling it out and unmuted. But who's gonna mute first? Let us know in chat who you think. Then later on in Esports in 30, AJ and Ron are gonna get us caught up on everything Overwatch, so be sure to tune in for that one. But first, let's take out our wallets because it's time to take a look at the latest game releases in the loadout.
Mortal Kombat! Mortal Kombat 11 is finally here, and we are so excited to get our hands on NetherRealm Studios' latest entry in its iconic fighting game franchise. All the classic Mortal Kombat elements are here, the brutal attacks, the brutaler special moves, and the ridiculously over-the-top fatalities. But this time, there are some new mechanics entering the fray that will shake things up. Fatal blows are strong attacks that can only be used when a character's health drops below 30% and are meant to replace X-ray attacks. Crushing blows are unique cinematic versions of special moves, provided certain requirements are met. And flawless blocks allow for a comeback window if you manage to execute the perfect block. Outside of the gameplay, Mortal Kombat 11 is defined by the sheer amount of returning characters. Classic characters like Johnny Cage and Liu Kang are coming back, along with fan favorites like Scarlet, Cabal, and Noob Saibot. And this time around, you can customize what your favorite characters can wear, as well as variations of their special moves. All in all, Mortal Kombat is back again, and you know you don't want to miss it. Switch players, you are lucky. This week, you'll finally be able to play Capcom's cult classic RPG Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon. If the name doesn't ring a bell, don't worry. All you need to know is that you're looking for a unique RPG on the Switch. You've got to check this out. Here's the setup. You're a fisherman who gets their heart ripped out by an evil dragon that attacks your hometown. Rather than die, you're marked as an Arisen, which is someone who is destined to fight the dragon in the coming apocalypse. As strange as this plot is, you don't play Dragon's Dogma for the story. Instead, you play for the epic combat. You'll travel across the large open world, taking on quests to take down fearsome monsters. And you're gonna have to work hard to take them down, since the game features a grab system that lets you climb over any creature you can fight. Combat is difficult, and depending on the class you choose, you'll have a lot of different tactical options to play with. Dragon's Dogma was a cult classic when it launched in 2012, and the updated re-release a year later has only bolstered its reputation. There's no other game on the Switch quite like this, and you owe it to yourself to give it a shot. The popular indie series SteamWorld has a brand new game coming to Switch this week, but this time it's not a strategy game or a platformer. It's an RPG, the first ever of the franchise. Called SteamWorld Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh, the game is a card-based RPG where you must craft your own deck of cards to fight battles with. There are over 100 unique cards to build a deck with. Some are self-explanatory, like a simple sword attack, while others have special effects that work well when played alongside other cards. Apart from the use of a deck, however, SteamWorld Quest features a turn-based system that can be found in many other RPGs. You'll travel across diverse worlds, explore vast dungeons, and collect a lot of loot and good old-fashioned XP. And that world is something special. SteamWorld blends together traditional fantasy with steampunk to create a unique experience that is as memorable as it is funny. SteamWorld Quest looks to be a great addition to the SteamWorld franchise, and if you haven't played a previous SteamWorld game, first of all, you're missing out on some great games. But don't worry, no prior knowledge is needed to play SteamWorld Quest, which means you don't have any excuse not to pick this up. Sony's big first exclusive of the year is Days Gone, a post-apocalyptic action game set in the aftermath of a zombie outbreak. You play as Deacon St. John, a former outlaw who now works as a bounty hunter in Oregon. You'll travel between rival wilderness camps, each with their own ideology and personality, as you take on missions and simply try to make a living. As an action survival horror game with an open world, Days Gone lets you choose how you want to approach an objective. Want to go in guns blazing while riding your motorcycle? Go ahead. Want to sneak in through the bushes and silently pick off bandits with a knife? That works too. Want to lead a horde of freakers into the camp and let them do your job for you? Well, you really should do that option because it's clearly the best one. Days Gone is defined by the amount of options you have. You can upgrade Deacon's motorcycle with new parts to make it faster or tougher. Craft new items that can give him that tiny edge in combat against a zombie bear. Wait till it's raining at night before you raid an encampment. There's a lot of stuff to do in Days Gone, and it's a zombie apocalypse unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Welcome to Muted. We got your gaming and esports hot topics, hot tweets, the spiciest memes. I'm Marissa Roberto.
And I'm Brody Moore, and this is how the show is going to work. Producer Tyler's got 2 minutes on the board for each topic, and we will present and possibly, likely, argue. Luckily for all of us, there is a mute button only to be used when someone gets out of line.
Oh, that's right. It's about to be Brody, I think. But shout out to chat, because we like it when you call us out when we're wrong and praise us when we're spitting truth. So let's get to it.
Okay.
We gotta check out, shut up, Brody. Let's check out our top stories out of control because, well, I'm sure you've all seen it. The crab situation in Smash Bros. Melee during the grand finals of Pound 2019. An attendee, no longer, threw a dead crab at Hungrybox while he was on stage. The crab narrowly missed Hungrybox's head, who cursed at the crowd after he demanded to know who threw it. The tournament organizers have since found the culprit, who they say has been permanently banned from Pound events. His name has also been shared with other TOs, which may result in bans from other tournaments. Brody, do you think this punishment fits the crime, or do you think it was maybe a little fishy?
I think they should go that route. You know, like, so the whole story is like you find your kid smoking a cigarette, so you make them smoke a whole pack of cigarettes so that they're sick of it and never smoke another cigarette.
Yeah.
You should have just made him eat like 40 crabs.
I don't know.
So he feels so sick
don't
that
know,
he'll
'cause
never want to touch a crab again.
I feel like that might be abuse, though. Like, I'm pretty sure you can't do that to another
Throwing a
person.
crab at someone's face is
No, I
also
know.
abuse.
No, but then the TOs would get in trouble for doing that. Like, that could be a lawsuit in itself. That would be funny.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe the Melee community should get some of that going, possibly.
Can we just start
Let's
mailing
live stream
crabs
that.
to this guy? All the TOs should just mail crabs to this guy's house.
Mail crabs.
Yeah. But,
Oh my
but
God.
in all reality, I think that they handled it the best they could, really. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, who throws a crab, right? Like,
yeah.
for real. You shouldn't be throwing anything at a like, the only
Just
thing...
don't throw things ever at anybody, ever.
No. Water balloons.
Okay,
Water balloons
if
are
you're
okay.
in a water balloon fight, for
Yeah.
sure. If you're in a Nerf gun fight, absolutely. Paint gun, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, you're set up to do that kind
I
of
hope
stuff.
you're not throwing your paint gun
No,
at
no,
people.
but okay, just whatever. Anyway, the point is that this was wrong. I
Yeah.
feel like it feels for Hungrybox for sure, but he's also gotten a lot of play from this because like this
Yeah.
clip has been shared now across sports as well. It's kind of jumped over to the scene, and I find myself in comments just fighting with sports people, making fun of the fact that this guy's number 1 wearing a jersey, number 2 playing a video game for money, number 3 like these people in the crowd, it smells anyways. That's why nobody noticed that there was a crab in the crowd, a dead
That's
crab.
so good.
Like,
It's the Kate. If there's any esports scene that you can say that about, Smash is. I come from it, but Smash is by truth the one that you can do that, man. I've talked about it before, man. We've had like BO bouncers to make sure people don't get in if you smell.
well, they clearly didn't have a
How did
BO
they
bouncer
how
here.
did the crab get in? Now we need to
How'd
have
the
a crab bouncer.
Well, and I want to know, like, was it in his pocket, and how long was it in his pocket for?
Oh, apparently he
these
was
are
showing it
details.
off.
Oh,
to
he was
people.
showing off the crab.
And people losing money matches had to kiss it.
Are you
stuff.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was a thing. Don't throw crabs at people.
Don't bring crabs. Just don't bring crabs. Life lesson. Brody, just continue.
In other Smash news, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Stage Builder has been out for a few days, and in that time, of course, several inappropriate stages have made their way to the highest rated list. These include stages built to look like genitalia or sexual acts, terrorist attacks, and other
geez.
images that are inappropriate to say the least. Remember, Smash Ultimate is rated for everyone 10 and up.
Yeah.
Do you think Nintendo should be dealing with this, or just
Yes.
they put it in, or should they just let it run?
No. Oh, excuse me. Nintendo
Excuse
has
me.
often and always been known to take care of this stuff. That's why there's been no voice chat in any online play with
Or
Nintendo.
is that just because they don't know how to do online?
Well,
Is
that
it incompetency?
could be it. That
or
could
is
be
it
it.
intentional?
Well, maybe, ¿por qué no los dos? Why isn't it both? Like, why can't they? Maybe it is a little bit of incompetence because they don't have the means to actually channel all of this and control it. I'm concerned about this because, yeah, kids are playing these games and I don't know. I feel like when you go to Nintendo, you better be PG. You better be G-rated. So the fact they're getting away with this stuff, although when I was playing, what's it called? The one with the guns, the paint. Why can't I think of it right now?
I don't know. Oh, I'm just want to let you suffer.
Splatoon. Thank you, Tyler.
No, why did you help?
You're the worst. No, when I was playing that, like people would often leave, kind of dirty messages in the flags because you leave messages everywhere.
Part of the
Nobody was
online
cleaning that up.
experience.
Yeah, but this, like, okay, fine, genitalia, whatever. Like we're all, high school kids at heart. We think that stuff's funny.
We're all 5-year-olds.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But like the terrorist attack stuff, that's so messed up, and there needs to be a line there that Nintendo needs to step in.
I don't know. I think if you're going to let some things slip, you got to let it all slip. I mean, here's the thing. It specifically says online play not rated by the ESRB. Because now you can just take hands off and you made this tool. You cannot tell me no one at Nintendo said, this is a great idea. Everyone's going to make really, heartfelt and really good levels that are going to, just speak to great.
Oh my God, shut up, Brody. Honestly, think about all the families out there. Think about the parents that have bought this game for their children that actually sit and then let them just hang out with their Switch and they're alone with it. There's no parental supervision at all. This is on Nintendo 100 because Nintendo is marketing itself as a family tool, as a family game, as a family device that you can use all together. Kids of any ages can play. And Smash Bros. Is one of those games for kids, especially with all the characters in there too. Like, are you kidding me? Kids are just gonna jump in and see something so insidious. They're going into Stage Builder or playing someone else's stage. That's not okay, man. I'm not okay with it at all. Nintendo needs to step in and do something. You're unmuted now. I see your face. You need to say something. What?
I spoke it. You just called out the whole Smash community and called them kids.
No, I
How do you feel
didn't.
about that?
No,
Yeah, you
I
did.
didn't. I'm saying there needs
Children's
to be
party game.
Okay, you know what? Shut up. During a European Rocket League championship between Triple Trouble and PSG this weekend, an audio issue caused a constant buzz in the game. So what did the admins do about it? Well, they paused the game in the middle of the match to fix the issue. This upset Triple Trouble, who say that the pause shifted momentum in the game, which they would go on to lose, unfortunately. So, Brody, what do you think they should have done here? I guess you were a part of this, though.
Yeah, usually there's protocols, right?
Yeah.
Generally, when there's a pause, a pause comes because a player in the match would say, hey, there's an issue, we need to pause it here. And generally, you'll either play it from that moment or wait from a goal or something. And most games have these protocols. Sometimes in a production, it can get panicked, like we don't know what's happening. Whoever makes the call, who knows? But the one thing I can give context to you, and then I'll get your thoughts on it, was I was actually there, so I saw from Chazette, who was on the save, was going to beat the guy taking the shot. So it wasn't going to be a goal anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see it. Chazette was on the wall, was going to get to it first. Who knows, it could have turned around into a play.
Yeah.
But Chazette was there, so it wasn't like it was stopped on a goal that was about to happen and taken away. I mean, Triple Trouble did win, even if they were going to get the goal. So they did win the whole series anyways. But it was a save by Chazette. So there's your context, and you can make it as you will.
Okay, yeah. I just feel like if there's going to be a pause in game, it should happen at the end of the game. I feel like that's when those pauses and maintenance things should happen. Because yeah, you do lose momentum. Like even if they did win, whatever the case, like you lose momentum in a game. You have to finish whatever you started, right? So this happened to us before. I was working a CSGO event, and there was some issues in game, and they had to actually pause it. But then they had to they had to have people go in and reanimate basically what happened to get to that point. They had to reset everything, which was, of course, it's upset everybody because you lose momentum. Like you need it.
This is what I say. At the end of the day, it's like everyone's. At the end of the day, there's your bingo. People make mistakes. Whether you think this was the right thing to do or not. At the end of the day, you have to look at any esports production in the world and understand there are going to be things that you like and don't like, and maybe you'll disagree with a decision, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen inevitably in any esport you're watching, right?
Of course, but think of the player, think of the momentum, and wait until the end of the match, at least. Like, they've been playing it this way for so long, just let it finish.
You're telling me to think too much. I don't like doing that. So we're going to move on. Lastly, Epic Games has once again divided the Fortnite community with its newest change. Surprise, surprise. This time, Epic has disabled reboot bans in competitive modes for the foreseeable future after a bug was discovered that caused them to affect the standings. The announcement came a day before the Fortnite World Cup Duo qualifiers were set to begin, which meant teams had to come up with new strategies to deal with this sudden change. Honestly, this doesn't surprise me. I'm going to ask the question, do you think this is the right call for Epic to change something right before a tournament? But they seem to do this a lot.
Yeah, this is very on brand.
Yeah.
It's very on brand for Epic to do this with Fortnite, but I guess they're trying to fix something, so whatever. And also, like, I get that the pros are so upset with Epic. I understand that. But they seem to be all about this World Cup. They're all over it. They're excited.
Well, there's a lot of money.
There's a lot of money involved, for sure. And all their favorites are casting it. They're in the studio. It's wonderful for them. But I just feel like the community still needs to understand that Epic doesn't make the money off of you. They make the money off of the kids playing still. I was chatting with my 7-year-old nephew. He was on PS4. I was just chatting with him, and he was playing Fortnite. I'm like, buddy, why don't you jump off and play Apex? And his other friend that was playing as well, like, nobody that plays Fortnite likes Apex. I'm like, oh, do tell. Why? He's like, no, the whole community doesn't like Apex because Fortnite's better. Fortnite has building. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So you're gonna stick with Fortnite then? Like, yeah. And they're talking about the skins they're getting. Like, it's all about that's all they care about. And that's what they're making the money off of. Okay, it's not these pros. It's the kids.
And this is what's wild too. Even to relate to Rocket League again is like there is a whole separate community that I don't even know that just deals with crates and skins and battle passes. And it's like I don't even look at my inventory because it's a completely different mindset. The pros and the casual, and then even the cosmetic people. There's like 3 separate groups. So at the end of the day, you have to realize
that's 3 for Brody.
I'm in the habit still. You gotta realize that the money is coming in because of that casual cosmetic audience. The esports is just a marketing tool. The reason they're throwing so much money is because they have a lot of extra. They probably have a separate building with just a bunch of money sitting in it.
It's just a money building.
Yeah. So they got to put it somewhere, and they can throw it back into esports. So you got to be happy that at least there's that. Now, if you want the esport to be its own separate thing, then you got to start saying, okay, we can't do updates right before. That's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah, the thing is that they don't care. You guys can complain all you want. It doesn't matter. They're not going to change things unless they want to change it in-game whenever they want to do it. So eat it.
Epic's not going to change. Suck it up. Now it's time, though, to see what streamers are up to in Clip It. Our first clip comes from streamer Devin Nash, who's given us tips on how to order at Chipotle.
I'm going to teach you my best secret. It's coming at you free. Don't even have to subscribe for this. You ready for that? You don't have to be behind a $29 a month paywall for what's about to happen. Shoulders back, eyes up, chest out. Look them in the eye. I would like 2 full scoops of double chicken. Hold the gaze as he spoonfuls. 1, and then lean. 2. Onward, you're done. Works every time. And now you've broke his spirit. You've broke his soul. You can do anything with this guy now. Extra cheese for free, avocado, he won't even charge you. Free quesadilla on the side, no problem. You won.
Free quesadilla. Yo, real talk. Once you realize, for real, that these are just real people behind, a lot of times it's their first job in these fast food places. They don't have social skills. If you get in there and you intimidate, you look at them, they'll give in.
Brody,
they'll just give you what you want.
Because
they don't care. They're getting paid minimum wage.
Oh my God, you don't abuse people.
That's not abusing people.
Yes, you are. You're demeaning them in some way.
Meta.
Okay, let me tell y'all about a little story when Brody Moore and I went to Chipotle.
Okay.
No, we went to Chipotle. This guy gets extra cheese, extra chicken.
What is it?
All the cheese. Yeah, he's one of these like bird eaters where he eats like a tiny little amount and he saves the rest for later. He uses it for like 3 meals
for
after.
the price of 1.
Thank you. This guy he puts his burrito bowl on top of my car.
I forgot.
On top of my car, gets in the car, doesn't realize he leaves it on top. I start driving away, I see all this like cheese and chicken flying off the bag. This idiot ruined his meal for like 3 days.
You could hear it because there was so much cheese. It was thick. It was thick and just thump, on the ground behind us. Yeah, it was gone.
Oh, Brody Moore. Adventures with
car
Brody.
wash for the car behind us.
God. Our next clip comes from Overwatch's favorite Canadian, wink wink, XQC, but this clip is not about his temper, rather his dance moves.
So he's definitely practiced that because he knew the moves that were coming up.
Yeah.
He was still bad at it.
Okay, so you feel like it was bad. I don't get this guy.
Yeah,
I don't get this guy. Like, obviously, I'm not his audience.
This whole thing by summarizing, I don't get XQC.
No, I just the same with like a lot of other streamers or a lot of other people that are very negative, like including Keemstar. Like I don't even like want to bring him up at all, but he's just like the bullies, like the negative Nancy, like the people out there that are just like you're a stain in our society and communities. Like you're making people around you also kind of D-bags that are treating other people the same way you treat people, and it's not okay. Like it's bad karma.
I love that you're able to go into a rant from him being all cutesy.
Yeah.
And be like, no, this is the truth about XQC.
Oh no, I don't know him personally. That's the thing. Is like I only know the persona he puts out there. The same with Keemstar. Like we don't know these people legit. They could be really nice people, but they had to pander to the lowest common denominator of the people that like subscribing to them.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that you didn't like the dance. If this is what
no, he could have been
resulted
better. He could have been better. Lisa and I will show him what up. Let's take a ride now on the Twitter train because it's time for Profound Thoughts, where we take the things the pros are talking about and spitting out of their mouths and onto their Twitter timeline. The first post comes from Melee Pro Mango, who sent out a few tweets following his latest performance, especially this weekend of tournament play. This was the last one. He says, last tweet, ROFLLL, people who make fun of me for not winning for a while, shut your jabroni ass up. You've never won doo-doo in your life. You can hope to accomplish half of what I have. I make more money. Arguably more handsome, smarter too, you dumb bee. I censored some of that for you, by the way. I mean, Tater's gonna Tate, obviously, but do you like the way he called out his haters?
That's almost a case of us being a sore winner. Right,
yeah,
like,
well, he didn't. Yeah.
Well, he didn't win the whole thing, but
yeah.
like he did better than he has been doing, and I don't know. I mean, like, he's right. Like, there's always the truth
Before that, his tweets were very complimentary, like thanking people, You
can be right and a jerk at the same time. They are not mutually exclusive, right? What?
That's how you live your life.
Yeah. No, what? Yeah. But really, you gotta drive a point home sometimes. But really, no, that was just like, you don't need to be all sour about it. You did good, but I want to see you keep doing good. If you're going to have that attitude, you got to keep doing good in future tournaments. Can't just be a one-off.
Don't worry, he's got it.
People have been skeptical. Anyways, next up, we're sticking with Melee because it had all the good this weekend. HBox, being the main attraction, got even more attention in the days after. HBox says, changing my tag to Liquid Esports Dude, and quotes Barstool Sports clickbait tweet saying, this esports dude lost his mind after being hit by a crab. Esports dude.
Yeah, I know.
Esports dude.
Yeah,
also unfair. I think he was justified. So he freaked out.
Yeah.
He's like, who threw this crab?
Which is understandable, honestly. I feel like he behaved the way anybody would behave if they got a crab thrown at them on stage after performance. I would be friggin' livid.
As any esports dude would react, I think he reacted. Probably.
As any esports dude.
I love how out of touch there are still, like, so much of this world just doesn't understand
You should see the replies. Like, on sports sites or whatever it is, even on TSN's Instagram, like, I'm going under and just commenting under people that are like, ho, dudes that play video games. I'm like, haha, he works way more than you. Like, eat it. And like, people understand. Yeah, and this is a profession, okay? Get on board or get the heck out of here. Our last profound thought is one that comes from, well, one of the esports OGs. Yes, I'm talking about Red Eye. He doesn't want to touch you, okay? He says, dear esports fans at events, I don't shake your hands, but I'm not trying to be rude. It's more about hygiene for me and for you. A fist bump is good, though. P.S. Just think about how many people I'd have touched before you if I shook everyone's hands. One of us might be unwell, straight up. And then Sir Action Slacks replied, lick me, Paul. And then Red Eye responds, come to Papa.
I know. that is a good way to deal with, if anyone, maybe someone's criticizing, oh, look, Red Eye didn't shake my hand.
Yeah.
That's a good way to deal with it.
Yeah, you're right. That's a wonderful way to deal with it. He's just being honest and real, and it's true. Like, fist bumps are okay, but shaking people's hands, this is why people always get sick after conventions, after any kind of LAN. There's usually a lot of illnesses that get spread because people don't wash. You gotta wash your hands, and also don't go to events when you're sick too. I feel like I'm gonna get a little something because friggin' Green Skull came to the...
You calling him out?
Yeah,
wow.
Straight up, Green Skull came to the Mortal Kombat event yesterday. He's like giving everybody daps. I'm like, oh, why aren't you shaking? Like, he's like, I can't shake your hand because I'm sick. I'm like, dude, you've been breathing all over me, like all around my drink. Like, why are you here? Go home. Just don't come to events when you're sick, okay? Like, it's not fair for anybody.
I want to clip just that and send it. Hey, we talked about you, Green Skull. Why are you here? Go home. No, I love Green Skull. You just do what I do. Just don't get sick. Easy as that. Anyways, moving on to crowd control. This is where we show the best memes and stuff floating all around the internet. How could I come back to the show after being away for so long and not bring some Rocket League with me? There are some new tools for editing replays, and Fisho Kid got straight to action with the green screen tool. Looks so sick. You could recreate the shooting stars meme now?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Oh, I got some other great ideas. Can we, okay, the editors won't do this. Can you edit me coming in, like flying in on Octane into the show? Like I'll skirt up to the desk in an Octane.
Don't use the show for your own vanity.
Or we'll like, instead of the Death Star, put your face and just blow it up. Get some frustrations out.
You know what? Dude, I missed you, but not that much. Quite the opposite of Brody. Our next post is cool, and it looks like it was made with love.
Whoa.
This is Faded Pilot Props. He tweeted out the Kraber model at 3D Workbench, and this is the gorgeous Kraber rifle from Apex. There's also a close-up of how much detail was put into this.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Like this, like you can just spray paint, your PVC pipe and stuff, but like going into the there was like such fine paint lines and stuff.
I know. I'm so impressed with people that really take time with cosplay. Like, it's a labor of love 100.
Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to think now that what other things could they make?
Oh my gosh, so many things. I really do want to get into cosplay a little bit, but I'm just intimidated. I'm intimidated by people that can do stuff like that.
You should be the Death Star so we can blow you up.
Okay, again with this? Oh my God, move on.
Fine, 'tis the time for the last post of the day. So why not end it by ending Kirby? Titled, I thought they took wobbling out of Smash by Ploxy Zero. You'll understand what I mean. The final smash too. Hashtag bring back wobbling, please.
That was so clever.
That was fantastic.
I love the sound effects alone. Just won it for me.
I actually was gonna look up what that stuff was. I don't even know what it was. It was just dough.
Oh, I don't know.
If they're making noodles.
Yeah,
It's just a green blob. It might actually just be Kirby. That's what happened to Kirby.
No, we decided that Kirby can really never die. Like, Kirby is the ultimate.
Kirby is the ultimate, like,
superhero
thing.
Yeah.
You cannot defeat Kirby.
Yeah.
Unless you wobble.
He'll just suck you up.
Unless you get wobbled, unfortunately.
Unless you get wobbled. Oh, Brody Moore, I love you. I'm so happy to have you back. Also, I really love the Leafs are winning right now. Listen, that's all for today on Unmuted. I hope you guys enjoyed. And remember, you can always hit us up on our socials. Someone type in ! socials. Right now it's going to be Lisa. We'll see you next time.
$13, $14,
Could be going
$15, $16, $17, $18, $19, $20, $21, $22, $23, oh no, it's $4, $25, $26, $27, $28, $29, $30, $31, $32, $33, $34. All right, everyone, F in chat for Ron. It was nice knowing you. Dead body cleanup crew. Can we get this out? He can't even get up now. Ron, you did a good job. Your face is so red. Show everyone. Show everyone how red your face is. Yeah, put the right cam on. There you go.
Oh, I'm actually so weak now.
Okay, now please smash. Hurry, quickly, so I can beat you. Ooh, that Ron sure knows how to spice up a green room. Remember, you can always let us know what you want us to play on our socials, so hit us up right there, right now. Now, if you want more Ron, you're gonna get him in eSports in 30 because AJ and Ron will be calling out pro player Chayne to talk about the Overwatch League. But before we get to all of that, let me hit you with the news and reported. One of the greatest LCK players has announced his retirement from professional play. Prey, the legendary AD carry for Kingzone Dragon X and formerly the Rocks Tigers, said on stream that his temporary break from League of Legends has become permanent. Prey said that he feels like he's unable to compete at a pro level anymore, and that he's going to transition to streaming regularly on his channel. Prey took a break from League at the end of 2018 after a disappointing final split for Kingzone, but Prey is best known for his time on Rocks Tigers, which won multiple LCK titles and placed second at the 2015 World Championship. During this time, Prey was regarded as the best AD carry in the world, and he was renowned for his ability to create big plays. Enjoy your retirement, Prey, because the LCK won't be the same without you. Sometimes you've got to wonder whether people know that spell check exists. Why is that? Over the weekend, fans discovered that Overwatch League merchandise creator Fanatics released a new women's tee that featured London Spitfire branding. The problem was that instead of reading London Spitfire, it read London Splitfire. For reference, Fanatics is the official online shop for the MLB, NFL, and many other professional sports leagues. So it's not like they're incapable of hiring a copy editor. At least the London Spitfire took the mistake in stride. The team's official Twitter account has rebranded to the London Splitfire and has been making jokes about it for the past few days. And I've gotta say, the London Splitfire does have a nice ring to it. Here's a strange sentence I never thought I'd say. The Iraqi government has banned Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. This is apparently because of their detrimental influence on the population. For real, this isn't a headline from The Onion. According to a report from Reuters, the ban was put in place due to the negative effects caused by some online games on the health, culture, and security of Iraqi society. Specifically, both PUBG and Fortnite are a moral threat to children and youth. According to the report, reaction to the ban has been negative. Not because of either game's popularity, but because many feel that there are bigger things to worry about than two online games. Look on the bright side. At least they can still play Apex Legends.
Shoot. Trying to be sneaky, throws down that nano, pushing for the heal tonight, and can it almost anybody? That's gonna be Dogman's healing for the the Transcendence, absolutely worthless under those members. Wumpo juggled way in the back, gonna be taken down.
They need to trade one back immediately here for Soul. And sure enough, there it is. The double from Toby.
My goodness.
You gotta give it to Toby.
Welcome, space monkeys and hamsters, to Esports in 30, the show where we take a deep dive into a different esport every day of the week. I'm AJ Fry, this is Ron Renanthra Lee, and we are back from our long weekend, refreshed and ready to talk all things Overwatch.
Yeah, I had a fantastic weekend.
Good.
2 things.
Yeah.
1, Winston's not a monkey. He's a scientist. That was rude of you.
Oh,
And second of all,
excuse me, pardon me.
how was your weekend?
It was good. Big announcement. I'm currently holding strong in low diamond.
Oh my gosh! You know, all the little lessons that started to add up.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely all thanks to Ron.
So how long till Masters?
Probably never.
Oh, come on, you need more confidence.
How was your weekend, my friend?
I actually great. I played some games against the Toronto Defiant guys.
Ooh.
Yeah, I won a couple.
Nice.
You want some juice?
Yeah.
So when I actually logged in, got into Champ Select.
Yeah.
Asher was on my team, and he just insta-locked main tank twice in a row.
Ooh.
I was like, I can play main. Like, Asher, you play DPS. You're a DPS player. I could play Reinhardt. He's like, no, I want to play Rein. So does that mean, someone's?
Is there a lineup shakeup?
Is there a little shift
on the
here?
horizon for the Defiant? We'll have to
benched.
wait and see. You maybe heard it here first, folks. But first things first, we got a fellow Canadian calling in to provide his insight on Week 3 of the Overwatch League. And before that, you know what we should start with? Crazy idea. Some highlights.
Oh, there it is. EMP right over the top. That's a whole lot of that is brutal. The stick from Erster. 4 kills. No way to defend themselves.
Erster just aced it. 6 kills for him, final blow-wise.
Toby looking for the play. Note's gonna find Fitz. That's a lot of damage gone. They need to trade one back immediately here for Soul. And sure enough, there it is. The double from Toby.
53 seconds between grabs for Sinatra.
Oh my god, what is this? What?
Juice getting Trick Omen is big. The Rascal's about to deal some serious damage, but they can't get away. The healing is there. Violet just knocks him down. Between him and Rascal, they're unstoppable on the shock. Now have the largest amount of maps consecutively won in the Overwatch League.
Dogman getting pressured by Meko. Is going to get popped out. Mono going to be taken down. The self-destruct not going to find anything. Maybe even going to be eliminated. They do lose out on Dako, but it is again Atlanta Reign coming up with the kills. They get the flip. Yeah, I mean, already Meko taking a beating, the rally armor, trying to keep him sustained, but will lose out on that one. And Dako with the bomb manages to find a Namo. Donek is going to be sitting here in the corner trying to survive. On the pack comes through from Libero, but the kills, the feed, it's all in favor of the Atlanta Reign. Rally rolling through OT. Gonna start ticking away. Man,
They need that summer, they're not gonna get it!
He gets killed off. The grab comes through from Baby Bay. He locks him up. 2:08 on the clock for Atlanta Reign's side of this. And YXL still gonna be fighting away. The bomb comes up over the top, looks for the picks. Meko gonna be taken out.
And Atlanta Reign is gonna break the streak.
I said it, Immortality Field out, but down quickly. Gladiators on the point, but they're losing people too quickly. Decay, the only person getting a kill on the LA side for now. Jinwoo's crazy.
What?
Gets a right click onto Shaz right off the bat. Decay has to flee. Hydration down again. That's a double kill for Tim already. Is there anything this guy can't play?
He's coming back in, and Sombra is returning now, and Decay down.
He's down. Jinwoo with 3 in a row right now, making 4.
You have a delay while the portcullis opens right here. Decay is going to be sitting there on the high ground trying to get another EMP.
We've seen this one before.
Yep, they're going to drop like stones.
Yep, that's right. Mercy going all the way down. What a pick for Decay.
That's just some nice tracking.
The Gladiators, as soon as they finish Keo, are going to win. As soon as they finish Ahmed, are going to win this series. There we go. The LA Gladiators take it 3-1.
And with that, they will clinch their stage 2 playoff berth. 6-0.
Right.
Because he's just so slippery. But here's that Graviton surge now from Hancho. They have to use his ultimates and they have to be effective. But Kuchway goes down. Bebe also missing. That is not what the Spark were looking for here. They were supposed to be breaking the mold and breaking the deadlock. But instead, they get half of their team taken out when they try and initiate with a Graviton surge. Hancho, just like that, the Guangzhou Charge have ended their map loss streak.
All right, Shu, trying to be sneaky, throws down that nano, pushing for the heal tonight. It catches almost anybody. That's going to be Dogman's healing for the Transcendence. Absolutely worthless under those members. Pumpo juggled way into the back, going to be taken down. Can they even get to the cart in time? And that's just going to be it. They hold him. No more points. Guangzhou says, you know what? We'll finish the map. That's it. No further ones added onto the record. They close out this series with a 3-1.
Yep, Guangzhou charged up for a win. New York took a big tumble, and a new record has been set. My goodness, did week 3 of the Overwatch League give us a lot to go over. And joining us today on the line, we got pro player, most recently of the Montreal Rebellion, a man so nice, he named himself twice. It's Chayne LaRock. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing very well. You doing
good? Yeah, not bad.
Doing great. San Francisco Shock setting a record, most consecutive map wins in a stage with 20 so far. They've now gone 5-4-0 wins in a row, beating Toronto. Let's not talk about that, and the Spark as well. So Chayne, what are your thoughts on San Francisco Shock? Are they setting themselves up as the team to take down the Titans once and for all?
Well, honestly, if any team is going to take down Titans, it's probably going to be the Shock, because they're just ridiculously confident on GOATs, as we saw in the Stage 1 finals. And then also, I think they're a little bit more like diverse in their compositional picks. They're a little bit more stronger on DPS than Titans are, so should be good.
Should be good.
I mean, I want to ask you a question, given that we saw, again, them face off before. A lot of the tension, from the casters and stuff was on Super and Bumper. Between those two main tanks, who everyone says are really, really good, do you think one of them is better than the other, given what you've seen for the stage? Has Super been better than Bumper now, or has he usurped him or anything?
Well, actually, I've always thought that like those two were really like head-to-head as far as like skill and like their knowledge of the game. It's just really like about like GOATs is obviously a super huge like team-oriented gameplay, or composition in general. So the big difference in between Titans and Shock right now is that like Titans, they put everything into enabling Bumper, everything, right? I don't think there's a big like disparity or difference in skill and knowledge of the game between those two tanks, but as far as like the team play styles, it's extremely different. And so that's where like Titans usually edge out, is that they do really good job of keeping Bumper up and making sure they're enabling him into like getting the big shatters or just bailing him out of like his crazy plays, right? And that's what makes him look so flashy, is that he does crazy stuff, but everybody gets in there, everybody still bails him out and gets in there with him, and that's how they enable that crazy aggressive play style. Whereas with Shock, they try to do a more balanced play style between like enabling Sinatra a little bit so he can pop off, because everybody knows Sinatra is a crazy Zarya. And then they have also Choi Hyobin, just always off an off angle pressuring from the sides as D.Va. So it's a little bit different play style, but they find it works for like either team, right?
Well, I know in under a different meta where DPS was more favorable, in this current meta, obviously the tank is the kind of the focal point of your team. So is it the skill of an individual tank that really is leading most teams in this current meta, or is it that ability, like you're saying, the Shock have in order to play more effectively as a team that's rising to the top, outside of Shock versus Titans and Bumper and Super?
I think in GOATS meta, a lot of what a team's ability like lies on the shoulders of like the main tank definitely carry that. I think like it's most obviously seen with Fusions joining Boston. He is like, if you've ever seen him play in person, you'll see that he never closes his mouth. That guy is always talking and he's always yelling. Like it is crazy. I remember when I saw him at World Cup, it was like, whoa, this guy. However, his vocal cord's not shot right now, because it's like he is micromanaging everybody, and I think that's what a lot of like the top tier main tanks will do. Is that like in GOATS, Zarya bubbles, Lucio speed boost, D.Va defense matrix, all those abilities now belong to the Reinhardt, and he's the one calling the shots and deciding the tempo of the game. And he's the one who's like, he knows when it's good for him to go in, and since he's like, the spearhead, then that's kind of what you decide your play off of.
Well, it should be interesting watching Shock over the next couple of weeks. They got a bye next week, but then they're facing off against Philly and Shanghai, so
probably going to continue to see them dominating.
Yeah, would not be surprised to see 2 more 4-0s and have a completely perfect stage.
Yeah, easily.
That'd be impressive.
Well, one team that is surprising us, we've got to talk about Atlanta with their inconsistent play, defeating the New York XL.
Yeah, big upset, biggest upset of pretty much ever.
I actually, watching that game, took note and said they were up 2-0 at halftime, just so I would remember to say that, because I figured, it would be a reverse sweep.
Right.
But wow, managed to hold them down. Why? And then losing to the Charge.
Right. Yeah, Guangzhou really got their number in the match after, but before this, is really surprising because Atlanta lost to the winless Valiant the week prior.
Yeah.
So just a really bizarre 2 weeks from them overall. And Daco coming in during their win against NYXL, everyone expected them to win against Charge, no question.
Yeah.
So it seems like Daco, although was the solution for one game, was simultaneously the problem in another, and was likely the reason, at least rumors say, that he was benched for a couple of weeks now. So Chayne, yeah, what do you think about Atlanta? What do you think about the moves with Daco? Do you think that's justified? Give me your thoughts.
Well, as far as the stuff going on with Daco, I can't say for certain. It's all just rumor mill, right? I'm going off of really, I don't have a lot of inside info on that going on, or anything going on in that team. But it really looks like that team is just struggling to find an identity, with all their roster swaps and everything going on, and probably I imagine there's definitely stuff going on because Daco's a very strong off tank, and he's been playing with them for so long, and then to suddenly pick up Fried and start playing with him, it's there's got to be something going on, but it definitely seems like they're struggling to find an identity, a strong play style, and they're kind of that's why they're so hit and miss, right? Because they'll have a day where Baby Bay goes crazy on Zarya, but then there's other days where everybody's memeing Baby Bay for getting all his grass eaten, right? So.
Do you think it was kind of like a void left by Defran? Do you think he had, on top of his mechanical skill, some sort of morale-inducing quality or anything like that they really need now?
Ooh, I haven't thought about that a little, too much, but now that you bring it up, that does make a lot of sense. I can totally see that Defran bringing in an air of positivity to the entire team because he's so
unique.
I want to say aloof. I'm going to say aloof.
Yeah, aloof is a good word to describe him.
He tries hard, but he also keeps it pretty relaxed and mellow because that's just his personality, right?
Yeah. Getting him in ranked is such a thrill because he's so much fun. You can tell he genuinely enjoys playing the game.
Yeah.
It's I'm sure that is a good quality to have when you're in a high stakes situation.
Yeah. Before we move on to another team, though, I got to ask you both a very important question.
Oh, okay.
Is the bowl cut going to affect their gameplay moving forward?
He looks more Korean now. So is that good? Is that bad?
I think that's a plus right there. For Dogman, with all the memes of the power of Reddit behind him right now, I think we're just gonna see him pop off and pull insane stats and surpass Jonak.
But it's only because it's Dogman. So if you got a bowl cut, would it affect your gameplay at all? Would it increases your chances of making it to Overwatch League, you think?
No. Only Dogman.
Well, let's talk the Charge. Obviously, winning against Atlanta, but then losing 2-3 to the Spark. They've given up on the GOATS meta, played largely Doomfist. So is this a team to watch for wins or just a team to watch for the fun of it?
I think it's a little bit of both, right? I always like a team that is not afraid to stray from the meta-heavy compositions, right?
Yeah.
And Doomfist is a character that some love, some really dislike him. He can be kind of oppressive to play against.
I don't like playing against him at all.
Yeah, we both play support. Chayne plays main tank, and he can actually survive the punch, so he might have a biased opinion. But it's nice to see that after Charge were struggling so much to nail any wins whatsoever, that they had 2 very competitive games this week. And Eileen, who Chayne might know a thing or two from, scrimming and stuff with the World Cup teams and Team China. China was really, really good, partially because Eileen was so versatile and his Doomfist was so threatening. So give me your thoughts on what do you think about Doomfist given the GOATS meta, and do you like the adaptation?
Well, I think Doomfist is he's always been a really interesting pick in that he punishes really hard on teams that are still a little bit too slow in their tempo. So with Doomfist is right, anytime Doomfist pulls the trigger first, he's pretty much guaranteed some sort of value in disruption, and that disruption, it can go a long, long way into Goat's kind of mirror, or like, slightly Goat's variation comps, because anytime somebody's pulling the trigger first, that means they've got the upper hand most of the time, unless it's, a Zarya counter grab or something. So yeah, Doomfist, you're pretty much guaranteed value, and especially into like more disorganized teams that probably are having issues like Atlanta with their coordination. Then you're definitely gonna see results with Doomfist.
Yeah.
Well, Chayne, looking at the tank lineup for the Charge, Rio and Hotba, do you watch the tank specifically when you're watching these matches? Are you trying to pick up little things from the pro players, or are you just watching the match as a whole and enjoying it as a spectator, like we all are?
Well, there's definitely times when like I will be particularly using the Overwatch League All Access Pass to like watch particular players that I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
But it's not usually, or it usually is main tanks, but sometimes I'll switch off to the Zarya players and Diva players to see how they're using their abilities and because they usually have a greater field of view of the entire team fight. So like especially Zenyatta players, they see everything, right? A Reinhardt player is like a horse with blinders on. You only see so much. Meanwhile, a Zenyatta or a Zarya, they have a much better field of view of the entire team fight, so you can kind of get a better understanding of you get better understanding of what's going on and learn a bit more
about what it looks like for other players. Well, let's move on to the Gladiators, undefeated, locking in the first playoff spot for our Stage 2 playoffs.
6-0, right?
Yeah, I think that's the case. 6-0 so far.
They only one game left, and we're only halfway through Stage 2.
Yeah.
So they got quite a little bit of a break before they, to prepare and stuff. It's really nice.
Yeah, the only tough match that they've had so far has been Seoul so far. Do we think Gladiators may be there to give Titans a run for their money as well, on par with Shock moving forward?
Actually, I could totally see them taking it. Like
really
with this new meta and Decay, it seems like the new pickups for Gladiators are really coming into their own like lately. With Decay just recently popping off, and also Roar seem to become a little bit more consistent. I think they're in a good spot right now. Especially they're probably on a extremely good high right now, just off of like their wins. Their record right now is just insane. So.
Yeah, I mean, having that little break would be useful coming into playoffs, obviously, right? And I mean, if you're gonna pay like $500,000 for Decay, he better be doing his job, right? I mean, I've never really thought of Gladiators as a team that could win it all. I always think they've been consistently good.
And they were fourth last season, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, but would you say like a team that was in fourth is, like ever gonna realistically be like a team you can say will be first?
Sure, when there's 20 in the league, no?
I don't know. I think there's like a pretty strict cutoff between the first three and everyone beneath. At least in this season.
But let's not forget that at the end of the first stage, Toronto Defiant were listed as 3.
Yes, I know, but I had the rose-tinted glasses on. I'm sure Shane did too, and everyone else.
Well, let's move on to another team currently doing well as well. Ugh, that wasn't the best phrasing there. London Spitfire, should we say Splitfire?
Yeah, did you see the Fnatic tank top? Very evidently, that's bad.
Fire.
Yeah.
They're just 4-0'd Boston. They're doing well. What are your thoughts on London Spitfire or Splitfire there, Shane?
My new favorite team, Splitfire.
Yeah.
They're a really interesting team because they've always been like they have this ability inside them where they can just go insane, right? Like we saw that evidently in stage 4 of last season, right, where they just went crazy and they just started dominating everybody. But meanwhile, they had that valley where they're in stage 2 and 3 where they were just a little bit, middle of the pack. So yeah, they're a wild card team to me almost at this point. Like they're insane mechanically, but they're unpredictable.
Well, we can predict what their next matches are going to turn out like because they're going up against Paris, Chengdu, and Houston. So
that's a nice schedule to have.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, they're currently 4-0 with you said Florida, Chengdu, and Houston as their next 3 games.
Paris, Chengdu, and Houston.
Yeah, I think realistically they could actually 7-0. I don't think that's unlikely. I think we might see them go a perfect stage, even though they don't seem like a team that should be able to say they have a perfect stage.
Well, I mean, if we end up with the Gladiators with
A perfect
undefeated.
stage. Yeah.
And we end up with
London.
Spitfire with a perfect stage, and the San Francisco Shock with a perfect stage.
And
then
Vancouver Titans.
Vancouver
We
undefeated
could get
as well.
4 teams with undefeated records going into the stage playoffs, which would be insane.
That would be.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Bonkers going in.
But I
just watching
think-
who will finally lose.
I don't think those are the 4 best teams, though. I think we can say Vancouver and Shock are pretty definitively on top.
Yeah.
But both Gladiators and London have pretty easy schedules.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really like the system we have
Well,
with the whole stages, and that's who goes to playoffs and stuff for that reason.
Chayne, who are your picks then? I mean, we're sitting here a few more weeks out, although this weekend is going to be a short weekend. We'll talk more about that later in the show. Who are your picks then for like the tops of this stage?
The tops of this stage?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's say top 4.
Top 4? Wow, that's tough.
Because NYXL is like usually on everyone's list, but just seeing them lose to Atlanta, you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, really, what is going on? That's a big question mark right there. Man, I want to say Dynasty can make a comeback with the way they've been playing. I want to see
breaking
them
records.
I would love to see them come back and make a big swing up, but it's definitely just probably going to be Gladiator, Shock, Titans, and then you can leave that last one to Dynasty or NYXL, because the rest of them are they're
That's the big
questionable.
fight then. There we go.
Yeah, that's a big fight.
Who's going to get that 4th place? Man, we got so many more questions for you, but I know we're starting to run a little bit low on time. A big question that Ron and I have been talking about, and I'm going to throw it out to you because you've got your experience in the Contenders League. With Florida Mayhem doing as bad as they are, like bottom of the barrel, last place in the league, but
Even with all Koreans.
Even with their new lineup. But with their Contenders team just dominating, do you think we will possibly see by season end a complete lineup flip? How would the Contenders team fare in the pro circuit on the main stage? What do you think?
Well, I think with the current Florida Mayhem Academy roster, if they were just to be thrown into OWL, they would probably be, I would say, be able to perform at the same level of, let's say, the Outlaws right now.
Okay.
Wow. A lot of their players are OWL caliber.
Yeah.
I think given the opportunity to practice in that environment and scrim against those teams would be massive for that team, and they would probably see exponential growth in a short period of time, especially considering how they've been performing in Contenders. They've been doing really, really well. And usurping Fusion University is it's no small feat. That was really impressive.
I mean, I think that raises another question for me, real briefly. Given your experience, how do you rank the Contenders teams right now in comparison to OWL players? Do you think there's a big gulf, or do you think a lot of them are OWL caliber, but just don't get the same amount of experience or game time or recognition?
Question.
Well, I think with Contenders players is they definitely have there's a lot of Contenders players who are clearly not anywhere close to OWL caliber right now. But there's a handful in there that are the ones that usually get picked up, by OWL teams that are absolutely easily passing some of the current OWL players right now. But as far as pure just teams themselves that can compete with OWL teams, I don't think there's many. Fusion University, I know, perform very well against OWL teams. I would imagine Mayhem Academy do well as well lately, but I would say most blocks that most Contenders teams get against OWL teams, it's not pretty.
Oh, okay. Well, that's quite a bit of insight. There's a little bit of juice there. Give us a little bit of a hint.
Well, let's go even further with that. Are there any Contenders players that you would like to see, bumped up to the Overwatch League right now? Who would your top maybe 3 picks for a promotion be?
Besides yourself.
Well, I think coming up, I would like to see Hawk when he's of age, but for right now, I want to see Mangachu and OWL very badly.
Yeah, he's been there for a while. Just smurfing in Contenders.
Really, he's been smurfing in Contenders. When I played with him for a short little stint on my old team, he was a joy to play with, both as a personality and also mechanically and insight-wise. The guy has a massive brain, so I want to see him in OWL.
Well, we want to see something for you right now. We know you're a big Hammond player. Can you recreate Hammond's
the new highlight intro? Give us the dramatic.
The turnaround.
Yeah, we need the GIF for the show.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, give it to us.
Boy. All right, ready? Just count us down, Chayne.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh man.
I can't believe you asked him to do that. He's never gonna come on the show ever again, AJ.
We're just going to make all of our guests do that. Chayne,
Okay.
thank you so much for joining us. We got to bid you goodbye. But thanks again for joining us. Your fantastic insight. It's been great having you on the show.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. It was fun.
Well, that was certainly insightful. Let's get to some major news now, just you and I.
Okay.
I want to pull it back to me getting into Diamond. No, I'm kidding. We do have to talk about this week's schedule. No games this Thursday and Friday, a more relaxed schedule for Overwatch League. Instead, we're going to get our big games this weekend as Dallas Fuel are hosting in a sold-out 4,500-seat arena in Allen, Texas.
That's going to be packed.
Which is pretty cool. It's nice to see the show going on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little glimpse of what 2020 might be like when all the teams will be flying out, playing in the home arenas and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Don't have any insight as to where the Toronto Defiant will be playing in town yet.
No,
They
we have
did
some suspicions though.
Yeah, we have some theories. They did announce, of course, the weekend partnering with the team as well, which is pretty cool. And Atlanta will be hosting a showdown series in July the 6th and 7th at the Cobb Energy Center.
Never been there.
No, you haven't?
No. Have you?
Nope.
Sold out a show, a comedy show there?
Yeah,
Talk about your adventures in ranks.
No big.
Your misadventures.
No big deal. Now, can we talk about the DLC that dropped last week? You and I played some on the first day after the show.
Storm Rising.
Storm Rising, and it was not really rising the morale of the Overwatch community for the fact that it ended up being pretty much exactly the same as the last DLC this time last year.
And like the narrative was okay, but then the payoff at the end was like a reveal of a character that they've never teased before, and we had no idea who it was.
Yeah.
It was like a hooded Omnic, and we were like, so are we supposed to get hyped for a guy we've never had any lead up to?
Who sounds just like Reaper.
Yeah, it's like
just
robotic Reaper with a slightly different accent or something.
So the question is then, like, how many different next heroes are there right now?
So when Ash came out, and Jeff Kaplan did his whole like developer update, he said they had like 6 or 7 characters in the pipeline.
Right.
And we got one in Ash herself, right? But yeah, we can get that blue Cortana looking girl at any time. We
this
could
Maximilian guy.
Yeah, Maximilian. We can get Sojourn, who's that lady leading them in the operation.
Right.
Whoever the mysterious Omnic is at the end. Yeah, lots of possibilities. Mama Hong. You know.
I just really want my mechanical hero who can like throw out platforms for everyone to reach new heights. Because there's so many times
Jeff
where I'm
an
like,
email.
I need to get up to that platform there for proper positioning.
Just
but there's
play
no Mei
Winston.
on the team. Yeah, but like if I'm, Zen, and I want to sit on Volskaya on the little hut thing there.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
there's no
that'd
way
be
to jump up
overpowered.
there.
We can't just
What if you get a
skip
Mei on your team? You get the boost. I just want a character who can like give us the. But I don't want to be Mei. Stop giving me the answers
You have the
I don't want.
tools. You have the tools.
One thing we should talk about, just overall, viewership on Twitch has been down. People haven't been watching as much Twitch. But this week, Overwatch League was actually the #1 channel on Twitch.
Which is nice. Like Overwatch League is usually kind of middling in terms of viewership, but I guess on a weekend where nothing else is airing, it could hit #1, which is, that's good for them.
But also, consider this, is it that they've actually garnered some viewership with the traditional broadcasts on Disney Channel and ABC, and people are now starting to trickle over to Twitch to watch that thing that they watched last weekend, but they can't find there, so now people are finding Overwatch League on their own.
I think that's a slim possibility, but at the same time,
that was a very polite way to say my idea was stupid and you don't like it.
No, I'm just saying
It's a very slim possibility.
Most 30-year-old dudes who want to watch football probably aren't, rushing to Twitch to watch other guys play not football.
You're right, but there are so many people out there who are now leaving traditional broadcasts to go to locations like Twitch. Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. To watch things. I know my dad often will stream like ball games and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I just go to Reddit and I find a link, and someone's got it there because he doesn't have all the American channels and he wants to watch various baseball games there. So I think we are starting to foster a bit more of a community. I mean, it's already a huge
more
community
respectable
here on Twitch. 15 million daily active users.
It's a big number.
It's a lot of you out there.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I really hope that Twitch, gets bigger and people start respecting it more as a platform in video games and esports and stuff in general.
Yeah.
But a small part of me wants to keep it like I don't want the dudes from like ESPN rushing in and like saying mean things in Twitch chat and stuff.
We have a very different community here.
We do.
I mean, I know it isn't our scene fighting games, but I don't know if you saw the clip of what's his name, Hungrybox.
Oh yeah, the crab hitting him. Yeah. It's a different world even within
then-
esports, like in general. It's a big umbrella, and
Yeah.
the communities can be quite different. Blizzard's very, you know, liberal,
Friendly,
but yeah,
optimistic
you're not allowed
for
to
the
do
most
this.
part. Yeah.
Catch it on camera. You're not allowed to do one of these. You're not allowed to do the Pepe. FGC, you're allowed to swear at the other guy. You're allowed
Yeah.
to like stand up and really rally, like get in the other guy's face.
Well, let's bring it back to Overwatch really quickly before I wrap up the show. Quick thoughts on Havana as a new payload map.
Good song.
Yeah.
You know,
Ooh, na, na.
Havana, ooh, na, na. It's a nice
Let's
tune.
not
I'll be
sing
singing
any more
that
of it.
as I cruise all the way through on the
Yeah.
payload, winning all my games unlike you. Good map. Good map. I have to get the dig in. It's just so much fun. I can't. I'm sorry. Good map. I'm excited to see where it goes. I like the environment. Tropical atmospheres. It's nice. I live in Canada. It's cold here.
Yeah.
You speak.
I feel much the same. I like the color of Havana.
Yeah.
Once it gets off PTR, I'm excited to hop in. But we're excited to hop out of the show right now because we have run out of time. I got a rank to maintain, and Ron has to go home and write more insults for me for the next week's episode. Thanks, Chayne, for calling in, and thank you at home for watching and for all your emotes and Twitch chat. If you like this and want a bit more, Esports in 30, Brody and Drewface will be talking all about fighting games on the show tomorrow. It's been a heck of a crazy week. Thanks for watching. See you in the future.
Oh my God, congrats to AJ who finally hit Diamond. Make sure to write in chat congrats because he's really been grinding really hard. Now, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's the end of our broadcast, but we'll be back tomorrow with another Green Room gameplay at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so be sure to tune in for that. And then we got more Unmuted, and listen to this, it's FGC Day in Esports in 30, so be sure to tune in for that one as well. Shout out to Red Bull for keeping us fueled in the green room. And remember, you can always hit us up on our socials. We want to hear from you, all right? So until tomorrow, we'll see ya.